Get ready with me for a boat day in Mallorca.
We just touched down in St. Lucia. Your girl's on vacation.
Let's get dressed for my official first day in Mauritius. We're spending the day on a catamaran cruise.
Hi girly pops, welcome back to the channel. It's officially summertime and you probably have noticed on your For You page that a lot of influencers are going on vacations, but not just any vacation. They're going on these like luxury trips everywhere in the world to these luxurious places. They're going to Cancun, they're going to Tulum, they're going to Mallorca, they're going to Mykonos in Greece. And they just seem like they're just having the best time of their lives and just they're doing all the things. They have these overly priced resorts, overly priced hotels, and they're shopping and they're just like living it up. And you're probably thinking, I want to do that too. Why can't I do that too? Why can't I be rich enough to do that too? Today I'm going to break down what it really is and what you don't really see when it comes to these luxurious overpriced trips. This video is actually inspired by a post I saw on Reddit. I'll be sure to link it down below, but it was basically said, stop being jealous of these luxurious influencers. And this is literally why. I want to do this because I want you, a normal average person probably watching this video, to stop comparing yourself to these influencers. I do it too, and I needed a wake-up call from that. So I wanted to show you guys that today. So one of the biggest reasons why these luxurious trips are not what they seem is because a lot of these influencers were born rich. So they have been taking these trips all of their entire life and they're just showcasing to you what the rich life is really like. We have been obsessed with rich people most of our lives because of course we're not rich ourselves. So we would like to see that. We like to see it. So a lot of these influencers were born rich and they're just showcasing what it's really like to be rich. So that's one of the reasons why they are taking these luxury trips. It's not because they're average Joes making 40K a year and doing that. They were born really, really rich. Take people like Alex Earl. Alex Earl was rich before she became an influencer. She was just showcasing again her rich life. So of course she can take these luxury trips. She already was able to do that way, way before she became an influencer. So it's not like it's that big of a difference between being an influencer and not being an influencer because she was born rich. And then you have people like Becca Blue, who is actually one of the more like humbler rich people on the internet, but she's also born rich and she is able to show you her vacation and what she's up to too. You also have people like Sophia Richie, whose father is the legendary, iconic Lionel Richie. So she is also showing you her luxurious trips because she can, because again, her entire life, she has been rich. She has been taking trips to Cancun. She has been taking trips to Tulum. She has been taking trips to Mallorca. So it's nothing new for her to showcase what she's been up to. Another reason why they're able to take these luxurious trips is because of the killer brand deals. These top of the top influencers were able to make a lot of money from brand deals and just about posting about their lives and their content. And they got a lot of attention, a lot of views, right, from being on the internet.
I made $47,000 as a full-time influencer last month, so I want to talk about how I made that much and how you can do the same. A lot of people in my previous video thought I wasn't telling the truth and people were speculating about me and other creators lying. Unfortunately, one of my hobbies is proving people wrong, so I pulled up my bank statements for you. So this is one of my saving accounts. These are my deposits into my savings. As you can see, these are all from May. This is one of my bank accounts. This is Taylor, my name. You can reverse Google search this image right here. Go ahead and screenshot. You won't find it come up anywhere else because I literally just took it and I got $30,000 in deposits on this account. That does not include my business account deposit. So all in all, I'm not exactly sure the number. I'm pretty sure it's around 46. It is true that a lot of influencers lie about how much they make, but a lot of them are not lying. This is an industry that pays very well for very little amounts of work. It's been proven that only 1% of creators make enough money from it to live full time from the money. So yeah, I'm very rare. I'm the 1%.
I grossed $768,000 in 2024.
Ooh, hell yeah.
But then we have the net. So 768,000 is the top number. 20% of that goes to management. So we're down to like what, 550? From 550, 200,000 of that goes to taxes, just the way it goes. Now we're down to 330. After the 330K, you have your expenses. I have a team now. So it's like lawyer, accountant, therapist. It's insane. But at the end of the day, I still pocketed like probably around $300,000. I'm 28 years old and I went from making 40K and I grew up literally dirt poor.
When you see your favorite influencer going on vacation, chances are a brand paid for that vacation. A brand probably paid for that luxurious hotel that they're staying in. A brand probably made that happen for them, paying for a lot of this stuff from their own pockets. And the reason why they have all these good brand deals is because they have really good managers. They were able to contact good managers that can get them good brand deals so that they can go on these trips and probably have it paid for. And on top of that, get paid for being on the trip in the first place. You know, there's so much drama with brand deals. I know that. But this is one of the reasons why there's so much drama with brand deals is the fact that brands are paying thousands upon thousands of dollars to all of these influencers so that they can enjoy vacations like this and literally throw it in our faces so that we can turn around and buy a product from them, even though they'll never actually pay average people to go on these brand trips. It's a whole loop-de-loop, and it's odd, and it's very, very, very sad sometimes. Something that you also have to keep in mind is the fact that a lot of these brand deals are very, very, very unstable. They come and they go, and next year you probably won't see your favorite influencer on vacation again. You probably won't see your favorite influencer doing this, and this again. And because a lot of these influencers have attention on them and they get millions of followers, they also end up marrying very rich. And that also helps them sustain all the money that they're getting to be able to go on these trips. So you just have to be born rich or marry rich in order to be able to go on vacations such as glamorous as these. And something that a lot of influencers probably will never tell you is because they're in debt. They're probably in debt. Now, I don't know how true this is, and this is definitely me speculating, but a lot of the times what I've heard is that influencers will actually go out of their way to put a lot of the stuff on credit cards so that they can showcase themselves going on these vacations, so that they can showcase themselves having fun on these vacations, so that potentially a brand will pay for their vacations next time. So they'll go ahead and put a lot of stuff on credit cards. They'll go ahead and put that first class ticket on a card. They'll go ahead and put that handbag or that luggage that you see on a card just to prove to the brands that they also can do vacations and they also can create content. After doing some research, an old school YouTuber named Lindsay Hughes actually attested to this credit card situation. According to Reddit, this is what she said. She later made a video saying that she got to the point where she would have to put her rent on her credit card and incurred so many penalties for doing so that she slowly fell into debt. She now lives in Idaho and has a part-time job, and it looks like she's now living within her means. And of course, you can never tell who's actually broke versus who is pretending to be rich. And a lot of the times, it has been proven over and over and over again that a lot of these influencers do pretend to be rich.
We normalize asking how much credit card debt all of the travel, aesthetic, NYC influencers.
So I think this is a super spot on comment, and there are tons of people who are influencers and, you know, aspiring influencers who are funding their lifestyles with a ton of undisclosed debt. It's kind of become a running joke now that when people are, you know, spending all their money on designer clothes and going out to eat at really fancy restaurants every night and always going on these like really crazy vacations that they, you know, have rich parents. Sometimes they might get things for free if they're an influencer, but there's also now more and more talk about how people are living in credit card debt that they don't talk about. But I've actually noticed some people do start talking about it in a way that makes me think that they don't take it as seriously as they should. I've noticed some influencers will be asked, like, how can you afford all of this? And they'll answer in kind of a tongue-in-cheek way, oh, I'm in a lot of credit card debt. And some will even say, but don't worry, I pay the minimum every month, which if you're using a credit card responsibly, that's not how you do it. You use it like cash in your budget.
And you also must know that sometimes these vacations aren't actually happening. They are either faking it, using green screen to pretend they're on vacation, or they're posting old photos of themselves on vacation just to kind of make you think that they're going on vacation. So a lot of the time, it's just not actually happening. To kind of hone in on the point even more, I feel like eventually these influencers will die out. There's no way that Emily Mariko is going to be 50 years old making rice salmon bowls on the internet. That sounds insane to me. And they're either going to retire just like athletes, and this lady right here has a really good point about that.
Controversial opinion, but I think that most influencers are going to end up going broke, and I'm going to explain to you why I know this. I'm saying most, not all. Just keep that in mind. It's pretty comparable to being an athlete, a famous athlete. Just keep that in mind while I'm speaking, because we have real stats from athletes. We don't have as many stats from influencers. I went to an event 7 years ago, and this lives just rent-free in my mind. It was hosted by a popular Instagrammer called The Fat Jewish, and if you don't know who that is, then I think it just kind of further proves the point. And at this event, he explained that what happens to famous people is one of two things. Either your platform is fleeting, so think like eventually in sports, like you retire or you might get an injury, but like think of for influencers like Vine, that what happened to Vine, or TikTok potentially getting banned in the US. The other thing is that you might be fleeting. Hey, you might get canceled. You might not want to do this forever. You might retire. Like you might not want to make YouTube videos for the next 30 years. So one of those two things can happen to you or will happen to you, which brings me into my second point. How many influencers do you know or athletes do you know that have really stayed relevant long term? It's a very small proportion of them, right? If you think of someone like in athletics that's still famous, they're probably doing something to keep themselves relevant. Like if we think of Shaq went and did like 1 billion different things to stay relevant. But that's not every athlete that you can think of. That's not every person that's ever been on a sports team. It's a very small number. And that's why I say I think most influencers will go broke.
This is going to get into a little bit of a darker territory right now. And a lot of this I'm saying is going to hit a little hard, but it is the truth. It is the reality of the situation, because there are some things that influencers are doing that they're just not telling you, because these things are a little bit more frowned upon. Yes, I'm talking about OF and S work. And these influencers will never, ever, ever tell you that. I'm not talking about the big influencers because I don't really know that, but a lot of these influencers make a lot of money off of OF work and being online. And a lot of them also do this stuff in person. Here is a perfect video talking more about that.
So when I first moved to Miami, I started going to these promoter dinners that basically are free dinners for girls if you live in Miami at nice restaurants, and you get like free food, like good free food, like truffle pasta and sushi. You get free bottles of wine, and all you really have to do is just like sit and eat dinner with a group of girls. One time I went to one of these dinners, and one of the girls that was sitting right next to me asked me to take pictures of her, so I did. She was gorgeous. She told me to add her on Instagram, and she had like 200,000 followers. We start chatting. She tells me that she was born in the US but grew up in Australia, and I think that that backstory might have been a lie after some digging I did, but besides the point. We hit it off really quick. She tells me that she's staying at this like really, really nice hotel in Miami that I know is like easily $800 to $1,000 a night. And that is on like off season. I tell her that I'm a makeup artist. I recently moved down here with my boyfriend. She tells me that she's like in Miami by herself and she's here to shoot content with brands that she was working with. But I looked at her Instagram later on and I realized that there were like no brands in any of her posts. So she suggested that we like go to a bar that was like local just to like have another drink. I tell her I'm not drinking, I drove, and she's like, oh, we can go to my hotel lobby. There's a really great like bar there. It's kind of there. We walked to the hotel and like it's kind of awkward, and her vibe like totally switched up when we got there. I kind of just wanted like a virgin pina colada, so I ordered it and I asked if she wanted anything. She's like, no. We literally weren't even talking at that point, and she was sitting there like white as a ghost, just like wasn't saying anything to me. At this point, the convo died out, things were awkward, and I wanted to leave, but I wanted to go to the bathroom. I said to her, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Do you want to just stay with my drink? She's like, no, I'll come with you. So I'm like, okay, cool. We go to the bathroom. I have my drink in one hand. She's like following behind me, and the front desk staff says, hey to her. And I'm like, oh, they must like need something from her since she's staying at the hotel. And she's like, oh, go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I get out and she has her suitcases with her. And I'm like, why do you have your suitcases with her? Like, you're staying here. Like, this is crazy. Do you need me to help you with this? Like, do you need me to help you bring it up? And she's like, it's a long story. So I ask her, I'm like, are you good? Like, do you have a place to sleep tonight? And I thought that she was staying there, like I said, but it turns out that she met a guy, not the night before, but 2 nights before, had like a one-nighter with him, and she took all of her stuff there thinking that he was gonna let her stay, and that didn't happen. And she was like keeping her stuff at coat check and just like hanging around the hotel. Girls come to Miami and actually do this. I'm just happy to get home, and I'm sitting there thinking on the drive home, like, the level of deception that this girl was committed to, because like every single conversation that I had with her over the span of only like 2 or 3 hours was embedded with pathological lies. Like, I literally was asking her about this spot, this hotel, because I wanted to get a massage there one day, and she was like, oh my god, it's amazing. I've been going every day. I got a facial yesterday. She was also decked out head to toe in designer stuff, was wearing an expensive stack, had designer shoes, a designer bag. I told her that I lived near the design district, and she was like, oh, I go there every time I'm in Miami. I have loyalty at this store and that store, and they and I understand that what this girl was doing in her lifestyle is more than likely SW. However, that's not what I have an issue with. The issue I have with this, okay, is that the lengths of deception that she was going to do to prove otherwise is just craziness. And I am willing to bet that more than likely her and all these other types of girls do not get close to people in real life because of this. However, they're portraying a life on social media that is glamorous, hard to attain, perfect, like they have a rich boyfriend or somebody taking care of them, or they've got it all figured out, they're well traveled. And in reality, especially what I saw that night, is the complete opposite.
So whenever you see a girl in Miami, chances are she's probably doing that. Chances are she's probably funding her work through that. There's a lot of sugar babies and sugar daddy stuff happening right here, right now. I'm not trying to disparage that kind of work. Get your bag, do what you got to do. If this means something to you, do it. But at the same time, I need a lot of people to realize that this is the cost of trying to pretend that you are living in a very luxurious lifestyle. It's very unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what they have to go through in order to pretend to live this in somewhat luxurious lifestyle. Okay, we don't know. A sugar daddy probably paid for that luxurious yacht that you're seeing your favorite influencer on. A vacation was probably bought by that kind of work. So we don't really know. A lot of these people are pretending. I am telling you, they are pretending. Don't be fooled by these people. Don't be ashamed that you cannot go on a luxurious vacation. Don't be ashamed about that. Stay in school, learn what you can, do what you can. If you want to create content, create content. Just because you weren't born rich, just because you were not marrying a rich person, just because you don't have 300 million followers on the internet does not mean that you're less than or any less important than these people. Just make sure that you realize that this is all an illusion and this is all fake and nothing on the internet is real and all these influencers are lying to you and they're fake as hell. You don't have to go on these luxury trips to feel better. You don't have to do all this stuff to feel better. You just need to be yourself. You need to be confident. You need to be kind. You need to be good. And all the stuff will come to you in the most ethical way possible. Thank you, girly pops, for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for more, and I will be sure to bring more influencer videos your way. Thank you. Have a good one.